We have the wonderful James Lywood from Battlehurst Farm. James is going to be talking to us about increasing herd size while saving time and improving cow health. So James farms in West Sussex. Battlehurst Farm is an Arla premium farm, already renowned for having a very healthy herd with a consistently low cell count. The goal was to increase herd size while staying in the same parlour. The best way to achieve this was to speed up the milking process while retaining a consistently high standard. James is very kindly going to disclose to us how he's achieved this, as well as how overall herd health has improved even more. So thanks ever so much, James. I will hand over to you.
Thank you, Karen. Good evening, everybody. Tonight I'll be giving everyone an insight about my farm's mini herd expansion, along with how ADF has improved our milking performance and herd health. Next slide, please, Jade. So I'll start with a quick farm overview. So I farm with my father at Battlehurst Farm in West Sussex, where we're currently farming 300 acres at Battlehurst and a further 100 acres off the farm. So farming around about 400 acres in total. Currently the herd size is sitting at around 200 cows, with a plan to be at 230 cows by end of this year, beginning of next year. We currently sell a milk to Arla, and we are Arla Co-op members on a Tesco contract. The cows are milked twice a day through our 1818 milking parlour, where we're all year round calving, and ADF was installed in August 2020. I've also displayed some KPIs we want to look at. So we're currently averaging 11,400 litres at 4.6 fat, 3.5 protein, with a cell count of 109, back to scan 7. We've currently treated 4 cases of mastitis with antibiotics within 12 months. Pregnancy rate is currently sitting at 33%. Lameness sitting at 6%, and we're currently at 93% of cows receiving just sealings that dry off, and a 23% replacement rate. Next slide, please. Next slide, please, Jade. In June 2020, we made the decision to increase the herd size from 180 cows to 230 cows, with the aim to milk around 200 cows with roughly 20 to 30 dry cows. We made the decision to expand the herd due to good business performance in the previous few years, being on a good milk price, myself coming back into the family business and wanting to grow the business, and also we bred too many dairy heifers. So as a result, it fell into place quite nicely, and it was a pretty easy decision to make in the end. So in order to increase cow numbers, we had to invest in 3 areas. Firstly, the milking parlour. In 2018, we actually fully revamped the milking parlour, stripping out all the old equipment and installing all new milking equipment with an extra milking point on each side. And then in August 2020, we then installed ADF in order to milk the extra cows. We've already put up a new silage pit, which can store around 1,000 tonnes of silage, and we're currently in the process of putting up a new dry cow shed. Next slide, please, Jade. The main reason why we installed ADF was to be able to milk an extra 40 cows twice a day without increasing milking times. Whereas before, we knew if we added another 40 cows, it would at least add another 30 minutes onto milking. We also wanted to make the milking procedure less labour intensive by taking out the post-milking part of the routine, saving a couple of minutes every row. Yeah, we just wanted to make the milking routine easy and simple for everyone who's milking on the farm. Another reason for installing ADF was to make the post-milking routine more consistent and precise. it's great to have the peace of mind knowing every cow has been ditched straight after she's finished milking, and the iodine is being applied exactly where it needs to go with minimal waste. Also, knowing every cow that has been milked, that cluster has been cleaned and sterilised, resulting in no mastitis being spread from cow to cow. Finally, it's always nice, and it's also very nice to always have up-to-date milking technology in the parlour to ensure that we continue our high levels of performance. Next slide, please, Jade. At Battlehurst Farm, we carry out a strict mastitis protocol and milking routine. This is to ensure the best possible results and to reduce the amount of mastitis, along with using less antibiotics. We try and keep the milking routine as easy and simple as we possibly can. We start the routine by spraying the teats with iodine, followed by cleaning and stimulating the cows with a dry wipe. Then the cows are ready for the cluster to be attached. We pre-milk any cows with high cell counts or mastitis troublemakers, which are identified with red tail tape. Once the row of cows has finished milking, we check every cow for good teat coverage, along with checking all the mastitis detectors. If a mastitis is detected during milking, we also have a protocol to follow. Firstly, we milk the healthy quarters normally, and then dump the infected quarter. Once the infected quarter is milked out, we then strip that quarter out until there's no milk left in the quarter. We then rub udder cream on the infected quarter. Once the cow leaves the parlour, we then move that cow into we move the cow out of the main milking herd and into a mastitis / lame / sick group we have, where she's giving pain relief daily and drenched twice a day with 40 litres of water. That cow is then monitored closely for the next few days, monitoring her health and rumination using the collars we have on the cows, along with monitoring the quarter itself. If the quarter and the cow's health is improving, then this protocol is continued until the quarter is fully cured. If the quarter worsens along with cow health, then we might consider administering antibiotics. Next slide, please, Jade. Since we installed ADF, we've seen improvements across all boards. Firstly, milking times have been reduced by 30 minutes, allowing us to widen milking intervals. Mastitis rates have halved from 8 cases to 4 cases of mastitis being treated with antibiotics in the last 12 months, which has been achieved by having the cluster flash, which stops the spread of mastitis, and having a more precise post-dipping. The whole milking procedure seems a lot cleaner, leading to lower Bacter scans and a drop in cell count from a rolling 12-month figure from 126 to 109. The ADF will also help us to reach our goals, which are to treat no mastitis on the farm, and also to reach 100% all sealant at dry off. Also, when the InVents were installed into the ADF, we noticed a slight increase in milk yield, along with better milking performance. We noticed better milking comfort, so less kicking off units, less fidgeting, and the cows milking out a lot quicker, and also milking out them slow cows slightly better. And finally, all milking staff love the ADF. They're very happy with it, and it's made milking quicker and less labour intensive for them. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, and thank you very much for listening to my presentation tonight, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
That is brilliant, James. Thanks ever so much for nipping us through that. Very much appreciated. We do have a couple of questions, actually. James, did you expect that installing the ADF system would save you as much time as it has done, especially considering that you have increased your herd size?
I knew it would save a lot. I knew it would save a certain amount of time, but I was surprised that it saved as much time as it did. We never intended to widen our interval, but before the ADF, we were pretty happy with the time we were starting and finishing, and it sort of made sense to widen it. The cows are benefiting as well. You know, slightly less milking on them in the mornings, which will help with mastitis too, less stress on the udder.
Definitely,
Yeah, so yeah, we're over the moon with it really. And also saving that much time, there's more time in the day to do other stuff. So to trim a cow's foot, to, you know, do a bulling check or to carve a cow, there's just more time in the day to do other stuff, which is great.
That's brilliant. We've got a question here from Angela. Are the cows housed all year round, and what bedding are they on, please, James?
No, well, the high yielders are in all year round, but we graze our low yielders and dry cows in summer, and we're on sand bedding.
And is that deep sand beds?
Deep sand bed, yeah.
Yeah, deep sand beds. Excellent. Okay, thank you. How can you tell that your cows are more comfortable with the InVent system from ADF? You did refer to this in your presentation, but if you could just expand a bit more, you know, you said about less kicking off the clusters and things.
Yeah, just less fidgeting, less clusters being kicked off, less poo in the parlour. You know, they just seem more chilled out. They want to come in, they're in, they're out, no hassle. Yeah, and they just seem to be milking better. Yeah,
amazing. We have got a couple more questions, if that's all right, James. Sorry, it's all coming in thick and fast here. So Dan Higgins, what sort of success rate have you been having with treating mastitis with just udder and pain relief? I mean, judging by those 4 cases treated with antibiotics, a pretty good success, I would say. But
yeah, so I'd say so we probably are running at around about 6 cases per 100 for mastitis in general, whether they've been self-cured or antibiotic. So yeah, I mean, what would that be? Sort of, yeah, 90%. I don't know, 80–90%. Yeah, it's just about finding it early, hitting hard, stripping out, udder minting, pain relief, drenching. And yeah, just using our collars we have as well, monitoring their health that way, and yeah, it seems to work. Yeah.
That's great. That's brilliant. Why do you give pain relief and drench them instead of giving antibiotics? That's from Sam Chandler, so it's a bit related.
Antibiotic usage in the whole dairy industry is a big topic. You'll be amazed what cows can get over. They're great animals and they don't need antibiotics to cure mastitis. They will self-cure if you're feeding them a good diet. They're getting in calf, they're not lame, you know, milking parlours spot on. They will self-cure. And it's interesting, actually, I actually worked on an antibiotic free dairy herd in Shropshire on my university placement, and going from my farm, where obviously we're using antibiotics, to an antibiotic free dairy herd was a real eye opener, and I tried to bring as much of that back home as I possibly could. And even with our cows being a lot higher yielding where I was on placement, I was amazed personally of what a cow can do. And you just got to give them that chance. Don't just jump in with the antibiotics. Yeah, pain relief, drenching, udder mint, and just monitoring them. I think that's yeah.
Amazing. James, we have got a considerable amount of questions flying in, but in the interest of time, if it's okay with you, we're going to have to move on. We will try and come back to them at the end if we get chance, and if not, the ADF team will try and feedback these questions to everybody, you know, to all of the participants, if that's okay. Thanks ever so much, James. Very much brilliant.